I was recently asked a question for the feedback show as to how do you apply snow or frost onto a subject like a flower or a tree or a branch or so on. So I thought it would be rather nice to demonstrate this for you, and also, if it works out as well as I hope it will, it could always be a Christmas card, perhaps at one time. So let's get underway. I'm going to start by applying the snow first. It may seem strange, but that's the way we've got to do it with the pastel pencil. So here we go. The reason I said that we'd need to do this snow first is because you imagine trying to put that white colour on top of red. It would be hopeless. There are, as you can see here, influences of red, but that can be done afterwards. So let's start off by putting these two areas in. I will try, every now and again, I will try to bring the photograph in so you can see just what I'm doing, but I really need to be close up on this, so you'll have to forgive me for just working out the best system to use. Now you see, by using the white first, like that, and I've also got, I haven't drawn this very well, let's just make sure I get this in. There's a little bit of a, in fact, if you make that slightly proud of that, makes it more realistic looking, and that will come in here. You don't have to worry about the pencil marks, because that will be covered in red. And I'm just going to, because I'm fussy, folks, I just want to take off that little bit of white that I put in there, because I want a nice straight edge on this, like that. That's number one. Now to another area over here. So this is quite a large area. You'd be surprised how quick the process is. Now red, as you know, doesn't like any colour underneath it, so we have to apply red directly on to the paper. Now I won't do any more than that for the moment, because I can show you that and even introduce this to you. Now this is in here, and this here overspills onto this flower a little bit. I'll bring the picture back in a sec so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, that's all we need at the moment. Now we need a red. Now the red I'm going to use is this one. This is a 124. It's quite a strong colour. We put it, first of all, we'll start with this, just a little bit. Once you get the hang of this, you'll find that I won't need to keep narrating it. I can just proceed with it. Now, coming as close as we can. At the moment, I'm not touching the white, but I will do in a tick. Now we need to have that. Now I'm using the ombre paper. You could quite easily use pastel mat for this as well. That would work equally as well, although I, as you know, I prefer the ombre. Now get that far, then use the colour shaper. I would suggest you use the ivory colour shaper here. It's nice and soft, and it blends so well into the paper. Again, don't touch, don't go close up to that snow at the moment. Now we've also got another one here, so how do we get over that? Let me just, before I go any further, let's just take a little bit of that. Don't need to remove it, as I say, altogether, because the red is strong enough to go over the top. But what we'd have to do there, and I'm going to use my 225 here to make that just a little darker here. Why is that? Well, it'll be pretty obvious in a minute, because then I want to put my red on here again. And if I put red on here and red on there, I wouldn't see the difference. One would run into the other. Same applies to that area there, so I can do that too. Now this is where I said I'm going to come down there in a straight line. So in other words, the snow is underneath there. And here again, I want it to be quite a hard line because the snow is tucked underneath that until it gets to there. And then I have that little overspill. Okay, now this is another area here where straight away I'm going to have that problem that I was talking about there. So just do just a little bit and then get your 225 out and just put a little bit of depth like that. Now you can see the difference. I don't think it necessarily has to be any more than that. Fantastic. Let's use my colour shaper again. And then I can show you the procedure that we need with the snow. You see how nice and smooth that is. Right. Now, with a bit of care, you now close into, because the snow or frost wouldn't be a line, it would have an irregular pattern with all the little snowy granules going on top. Now, I bet you didn't think that that was going to be as easy as that. But already you can see what I'm trying to get at. Just make that, as I say, you want to make it with a bit of design in it. You don't want to make it just too regular, and that looks good. Now we need to come back in with the ivory, not the ivory, the white again, and just fill those little holes up. But that's as flat as a pancake. We don't want that. What we want is a bit of tone in it. Just get right up close to that edge. Like that. And for that, I'm going to use 230. It's best to use the cooler colours rather than the warmer colours for obvious reasons. Snow ain't warm, mate. It's cool. So you want to use the cool colour. And you can also afford here with 233, just a little spot. Now this is a little bit of artistic license. On the picture, let me show you, it hasn't got any, or to speak of, has down here, but not there. But it's up to you as an artist to make slight changes. So just a little bit of that in there. Now, you would need to blend that, and I've got another colour shaper here. Yeah, I can use this one. And just blend that in. There's nothing wrong either when you do this, just to pick a little bit of the red up and introduce that into it, because it will be reflective. After all, it's water, folks, isn't it? So you're bound to get a little bit of reflection. Now you put a little bit of that red in. Now it depends on what you're doing. If it was a yellow flower, you'd have a little bit of yellow reflected in there. Very, very subtle, and that's why I'm using the colour shaper to do it and not applying the pencil on it, but that already looks great. And if you were really fussy, you would then put the white back on again with just a little bit more concentration. Now that doesn't look much there, but you blow that up to the whole picture and it's going to great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work around with doing exactly what you're saying. I'll come back in every now and again. For instance, just there's some white. In fact, it might be an idea to do the white first, and then you can work out your design better that way. Remember, you want to leave little gaps. It doesn't matter if you don't get that right, because you can always come back in with the red and put a little bit of an edge on it. Now just there, you'll see, just let me show you this too. and it's all red, but some of the areas are reflecting light. So let me show you that. I can just about see that line there. This is the problem when you're using one colour. Like you can just see, you probably just can pick it up, that line there. Now, what you do then, with the 225, you go on the other side of that line, making it just a little darker, like that. But on this side, you can then use the white pencil just to put just a little bit of white in. Now, not as much as you would do on the snow, of course, but it would give you just a little bit of light on that. And that gives you a... Now, there'll be lots and lots of things like that as we go through the variation. But I wanted to show you and explain to you what I was doing like that.